I thought I thought that I was dying at this point. Like I thought that I had filled up on so many drugs and the coke was just gonna like light it off, you know what I'm saying? Sup guys? Now this video is gonna be about my first time doing coke. Let's get right into it. So, this was about last summer in like August, right? At this point, I hadn't done like Molly in a while. Like, I really liked Molly, right? Oh shit, it's so hard to acquire looking at this filter. Anyway, I haven't done any like hard drugs in a while, right? I was just drinking like a lot of coffee and smoking a lot of tobacco and that sort of shit. Like, I've done some Zans, but I used to really like Molly and I haven't done Molly in a while, so I was looking for Molly. But I came across this guy on a Snapchat story who had some coke in my area, or like not far from my area. So I'm like, bet, I'll pick up some coke. I hit up Herbo. I'm like, is this good? Can I get some coke? He's like, fuck yeah. So fucking got some coke. So I hit up this guy for some coke. He's like, fuck yeah, I can chop you. Right? He's like, yeah, I can chop you. So I'm like, bet. So I'm like, this is my first time doing coke. So I was like, I didn't know what to expect. Now, Uzi, if you know what Uzi says, he says, I ain't done everything. I ain't done no crack cocaine. So I was not nervous, but I hadn't even tried it because of Uzi till this point. No, I'm playing, but like sorta. You know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't this guy doing crack cocaine? But anyway, yeah. So I was just waiting for him. He was gonna like. I went to this park. Oh my gosh, stay on. I went to this park to like wait for this guy for the coke, right? And I drank so many coffees. Like I thought the coffee would make him come quicker. Like I thought it would do like some external source where it would like just make him come quicker because I was on so much coffee. Just some tapping into some psychic shit, some psyche shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Just thought it would work, but so I drank a lot of coffee. Now I was sitting at the park for a while waiting for this guy, right? I was waiting for this coke for a while, and I was on a lot of coffee, so like I could sort of feel it in my chest, like not that anxiety feeling, but that feeling where it's just like tight and it's like, oh, I'm off so much coffee, like I need to relieve this. Now I didn't know at the time that the coke would actually fully relieve it. Can this stay on my face, fam? Thank you. I didn't know that the coke would actually fully relieve it. So I was just waiting for this coke, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure it'll do something, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to get high on coke anyway. Now I've gotten high on Molly, so like I was pretty sure it would do something for that aspect of how I was feeling. But coffee's still great. I still drink a lot of coffee. It's just you can sometimes get that feeling when you drink a lot, you know what I mean? But anyway, he finally shows up. I grab my bike. I go down to the park entrance where he is to meet him, and a bunch of dudes get out of the car. A bunch of dudes. Now, usually you would think, like, oh shit, a bunch of dudes getting out of a car for a drug deal, this isn't good. But they all looked, like, fairly younger than me, so, like, I wasn't too worried, you know what I mean? But they got out the car, and they acted like they were, like, happy to see me. They're like, hey, what's up, dude? And I was like, what? I was like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, usually drug dealers just don't be like that. Like, some do, but, like, a bunch of young kids hopping out of a car, like, a big group. Big fucking group. They're like, yo, what's up? And the one dude hands me the coke. I went to grab it like an awkward way. He's like, no, like this. And then he like told me how to grab it, but that was random. Besides the point, I gave him the money, got the coke, and they were like, yo, we've like seen you on Snapchat, like heard about you on Snapchat and your social media, and we like see that you're doing like some pretty good things. Like we heard you're doing some great things, some great positive things, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, can we get a picture? I was like, what? Bet. Yeah, sure. Like at this point I was only on Snapchat, right? I wasn't even on YouTube yet. Like I had never had anyone come up to me for a picture. Still haven't besides this time. Can this fucking stay on my face? But yeah, they like, can we have a picture? Like we're like a big fan. I'm like, bet. Okay, no, this pissed me off. Alright. I'm like, bet. So they all got in a group to take a picture. And this one guy, like, got really close to me. And I was still, like, kind of paranoid because it was, like, a big group of kids. Even though they're, like, a bit younger. I'm like, what are these kids trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I already had the coke in my hand and everything. But the one kid eventually puts his arm around me. I was like, nah, dude, come on. I felt bad because they wanted a picture, but I was like, no, come on, dude. And he's like, oh, my bad, my bad. And I took the picture, and yeah. Now, if you haven't seen my video on the picture, go check that out. Like, it's not actually about this picture, it's just a video I made called The Picture. But, oh, I had to burp. Anyways, yeah, they took the picture. It said, have a good day, got lost, you know what I'm saying? So now I have my Coke. Now, I rode home with the Coke, like, not even 100% sure if it was Coke. This is my first time getting Coke, so I was, like, kind of doubting it, right? And so I was, like, not 100% sure, but then I asked Herbo, like, while I was riding back, he's like, yeah, it's Coke. Like, I still wasn't 100% sure, you know what I mean? I'm like, no way it's Coke. No way it's fucking Coke. Like, these kids were young. They were probably ripping me off. That's why they got a picture and everything. But I got home, and it was about a gram. It was a gram of Coke. I didn't mention that. I took the whole gram. Now, you put this in water and drink it. You don't snort it. This is what I've been doing every single time, and it works good. Right? People think you should snort this. They're just messing with you, fam. Put it in water and drink it. It works great. That's what I do every time. So, I put the whole gram in the water and drank it. Can this stay on my face? Yeah, I put the whole gram. Oh, fuck this. In the water and drank it. And yeah, it looked like some really good Coke. And I know now that it was. Like, it was some fire Coke. You know what I mean? Like, it was like shiny and shit. And I did the whole gram. Now, I was like, waiting for this to kick in. I'm like, are you sure this is gonna kick in, Herbo? And he's like, yeah, it's mixing up in the pot right now. It's like crack, fam. It's crazy. I'm like, bet. So I waited, took like 40 minutes, and I started to feel it come up. Now, this is my first time doing Coke, right? So it was like, I got hype. It felt so good, fam. Alright, fuck the filter. Anyways. I got hype, fam. Like, it felt so good. Like, that feeling in my chest was just relieved. My whole body felt good. I felt like this huge relief in all my body. And it's not like a crazy hype like people say with Coke. Like, you're not, like, insane. You're chill, but, like, you have the energy type shit. And you just feel really good. Like, a really good relief through your body. A good feeling. Now, Coke actually also targets, like, the back of the head and the top of the head and puts, like, a nice cushion over it. Now, this can be, like, this feels good, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna say it can be, like, kind of scary if you don't know what's going on. And I'm gonna mention a situation where I didn't really know what was going on with that, where it was, which is in this story. So, I was on the Coke, right? I was having a great time. And I started making those little Snapchat videos where I, like, move the camera, if you've seen them on my Instagram and shit. Or if you have me on Snapchat and you see me post them, just those cool little videos. Just go check out my Instagram if you don't know what I'm talking about. I started making a bunch of those and I was just super good at it. You know what I'm saying? I was just making sick videos, posting them on my Snapchat. And then eventually, my two friends hit me up. They're like, yo, you trying to slide? I was like, bet. I haven't hung out with these kids in a while, right? And I was on Coke, so I'm like, this should be a great time. And so, yeah, the guy picked me up. Got in his car. I went to pick up alcohol for them because they're like a bit younger. They couldn't afford alcohol, or they couldn't get alcohol at the time. Got them some alcohol. We went to this kid's house. Now, I didn't tell any of them that I was on Coke, but it was like so obvious, right? Because I was moving like swift. You know, like you know that type of shit. Like you'll be moving different. Like I was just straight up moving different. It was like easy to talk, easy to have conversations, and just clear movements, clear combo, everything. Yeah, but the part where I got a little freaked out, I have to mention, this was actually on the ride to their house. Now, it was a different friend that picked me up. That was the friend that was at the house that we were going to. So this guy picked me up, right? We're on the way to the guy's house from getting him alcohol. And I started to have, like, some doubts in the back of my head. And I felt it, like, a little prickliness in the back of my head. I'm like, oh, shit. And now, I thought that I was dying at this point. Like, I thought that I had filled up on so many drugs and the Coke was just gonna, like, light it off, you know what I'm saying? Then after the Coke come down, I just came down and fucking died of prickliness. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of shit. But that wasn't it. Like, the guy in the front seat, he was a bear, right? And he was like, the stuff he was saying was like lining up with like my worries and like what I thought was going on. Like that type of shit. I just wasn't used to it. Right? I just wasn't really used to it at the time. Like I was, but like not like fully. You know what I mean? It's like that type of shit. Like the talking in the background and just matching up with like your worries and shit. And yeah, I later found out from her about that. It was like just that type of shit, and it was like just the actual, like actually the doubt that was causing the feeling. And like when I knew again, and like when I wasn't doubting, it relieved. Now, this will only happen to a certain point. Like it didn't hurt. Like it's not gonna hurt, right? So it won't go beyond a certain point. It's more just like a warning sign, just like, yo, you're doubting a little too much. Like what you're thinking is wrong, and I'm gonna do this to show you that it's wrong, type shit. Like that. I don't know if that's always how it is, but that's what it was for me, and that's how it worked, and that's how it actually really worked. And this happens a lot when I take coke. You know what I mean? But it doesn't hurt. Like he wouldn't go that far, type shit. It works. So yeah, I got that all sorted out. Found out I wasn't dying. I was like, yo, I thought I literally just filled up the tank too much, and my tank was just about to empty after the coke. It's like, as you said, I did everything, ain't done no crack cocaine. So I was like, fuck, I did the crack cocaine, didn't I? I'm about to, no. But like, basically what I thought was happening was I thought the bears were controlling me and how I feel. Like I thought they had control over it. So like something would happen, like I'd feel it, then they say something about it, like one of those background like layers, you know what I'm saying? And I thought it was like them like controlling me and how I felt. So that was scary. But I just found out it was Herbo's layering, matching it with my doubts, and then matching it with what they're saying. And then when I found that out, the feeling came back and everything. So hopefully that makes sense. I tried to explain it as best as possible. Right, so I thought I had to like pay for like a bunch of past shit that I did and that I was doing, like that I was doing to the bears, so I just did to the bears and like did in general. So I thought I had to pay for all this shit. So I thought my punishment was like them controlling my brain and like how I feel and like shit like that. Turns out I didn't have to pay, obviously, but like in the moment when you're taking a new drug and you're having those doubts and that happens, it can be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? But figured that out pretty quickly, then went on with the night. But let's get on with the story. So we went to this kid's house, right? And as I said, I was moving like pretty swift, like some sly shit. Like for me at the time, like it's not really anything crazy anymore, but for me at the time that was different. Like I haven't experienced that on coke and shit. Like that was my first time doing it. So yeah, I was also talking clear. Conversations were easy, just that type of shit. And just a lot of energy that I didn't usually have. So like it was a great time. I had a few drinks, had a few White Claws, and eventually my producer shows up. Now my producer's a panda bear, right? And yeah, I didn't tell him I was off the coke either, but he saw my Snapchat stories, and like you could see like the difference in my attitude and my mood, and like how I'm moving and shit, and you could just tell, like even from the Snapchat stories, because there were some fire videos that I was making that I just wouldn't be able to make if I wasn't on coke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck that was, but yeah, yeah, he showed up. We just chilled, and we ended up freestyling, and I was like pretty decent. Right? If you freestyle or if you make music, coke will make you like decent at freestyling, and especially like making music. So like that's what we were doing for a while. We're just all freestyling, like we're all fire. You know what I'm saying? There were some fire bars being spit, but like yeah, I was like pretty decent, and yeah, that's like pretty much how the night ended. We finished freestyling, then my producer drove me home, and I fell asleep within like 2 more hours of being home, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it lasted like 6 to 8 hours total, the high, before I started to come down, but I was still feeling it type shit. You know what I mean? So that is my story. My first time doing coke, where I thought the bears were taking over my feelings and my body movement and all that, and they were about to take me type shit. But then I found out they weren't, and then it was just a good time, and that's how I got the feeling back. Even though, you know what I mean by that though, right? Like, it's not about to actually hurt you because you're having doubts. It's just kind of gonna have that feeling just so, like, you know you're on the wrong path. So when you get on the right path again, the feeling will come back, but it doesn't hurt at all. Like, there's gonna be a barrier there that he's not gonna cross type shit. Like, no one's gonna hurt you and everything. But yeah, that's what happened. That's how it worked for me. I don't know if that's how it works for everybody, but that's how it worked for me, and it worked type shit. So yeah, that's my first time doing coke. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe. I have lots more stories coming, lots more sick videos. So yeah, subscribe and leave a like if you like type shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually say that shit, but whatever. Yeah, peace, guys.